Close your eyes and follow the wind north. Far beyond the forest, past the final tree line, into a realm where maps blur and compasses falter. Here lies the Arctic. Alaska's melting frontier, confronting a thawing wilderness. Alaska isn't just America's final frontier. It's the crucible where the future of our planet is unfolding. Picture a place where glaciers cradle grizzlies, where coastal villages are slowly dissolving into rising seas, and where night swallows the sky for 65 5-days straight. This is not just wilderness. It's a laboratory of climate reckoning. Begin in Utqiagvik, the northernmost edge of the US, where Inupiat elders still teach youth the ancient art of seal hunting. But now the ice comes later, melts sooner, and every delayed freeze could mean a season lost. Miss a single hunt, and a coastal community's freezers can run thin. A few hours east, at Prudhoe Bay, an industrial camp called Dead Horse, oil facilities hum day and night, pumping black gold on ground that's warming, shifting, and turning Alaska into a living contradiction. Have you seen a drunken forest? It's what happens when permafrost melts. The ground gives way, and trees sway like intoxicated giants. Roads twist, pipelines split, and with each thaw, ancient carbon breathes into the air like a ghost from the past. A feedback loop begins. One where heat feeds release, and release feeds more heat, and Alaska finds itself trapped at the center. Still sparks of hope flare in Anchorage. Scientists deploy drones to trace invisible trails of methane across a fragile sky. In Bethel, Yupik fishermen redesign nets to follow salmon that now swim north. And in Juneau legislature, uneasy conversations unfold. How can you divorce an economy from oil without breaking it? The question is in whether change will come. It's who will shape it. Oil executives, politicians, or young and upped coders charting whale migrations by satellite. Alaska's most valuable resource isn't buried underground. It's walking upright, eyes forward, learning fast. These are people standing at the crossroads of tradition and transformation. Resilient not because they resist change, but because they adapt faster than most can imagine. And in this fragile, breathtaking place, they remind us the story of the Earth's future is being written here. One season, one storm, one voice at a time. This is where maps dissolve into myth, where lines drawn by men vanish beneath endless snow. Canada's Arctic is a colossal realm of ice, vast enough to engulf Europe, yet so delicate that a single degree of warming threatens its entire fate. Envision a world where glaciers groan like sleeping giants, where narwhals carve through black waters with ivory spirals, and where Inuit life has flourished through 3,800 winters. But don't mistake this for a museum locked in frost. Nunavut, Canada's youngest territory, stands not at the edge of history. Glaciers have begun to weep. Scientists record their moans through hydrophones in remote Arctic fjords in Dawson City. Melting permafrost bends roads and buries cabins whole. And in lands that hadn't burned for thousands of years, tundra now blazes under a changed sky. The Arctic, paradoxically, is waking up just as it begins to vanish. The once fatal Northwest Passage has become a gateway, opened not by exploration, but by erosion. Russian tankers now chart courses through ancestral Inuit waters, where whales once passed undisturbed. Beneath these routes lie veins of rare minerals, treasures that lure companies into sacred caribou grounds. The polar bear, once a proud emblem of northern strength, is now a lone hunter, adrift on melting platforms. Yet resilience remains written into the bones of the people. Inuit youth fly drones across fragile sea ice, creating new maps of safety in a vanishing world. Artists like Jermaine Arnaktaryok carve memory into stone and ink, preserving what melts too fast for cameras. In Churchill, on Hudson Bay, researchers track the living chemistry of a warming north. Sea ice, microbes, and algae in cold waters, while far away on Greenland, glacier algae darken the ice, speeding the melt. And when governments hesitate, an Ehlers' voice rises above the storm. The land does not belong to us. We belong to it. Greenland's icy wager. When the giant starts to slip, Greenland. A name that promises green, but delivers ice. Beneath its surface, over 80% of the land is imprisoned in a glacier. So heavy, it bends the planet's crust. If it melts completely, seas around the world would surge by 70 Ming, redrawing global coastlines. But here's the paradox. As the ice recedes, Greenland begins to awaken. In Ilulissat, beneath the eerie glow of midnight sun, sled dogs race across thinning fjords, their Inuit musha. Glaciers here retreat at speeds of 40 meters a day, fast enough to watch change unfold in real time. Hidden underfoot lies another revelation: rare earths, rubies, and uranium, resources the world craves. Global powers, including China, are eager to claim a stake. In 2014, a sandstorm darkened Kangaroo. Not dust from abroad, but from Greenland's own thawing soil. As that dust settles on the ice, it hastens melting. A feedback loop accelerating disaster. Meanwhile, Nuuk's leaders weigh independence from Denmark, torn between economic promise and environmental cost. But the soul of Greenland lies not in its minerals. It lives in its people. Inuit chefs create Arctic fusion, and scientists drill deep for ancient ice that holds echoes of Viking DNA. Rusted Cold War radars at Thu now overlook not ideological conflicts, but battles between greed and survival. As one elder says, our ice didn't cause this crisis, but it's melting fast to pay for it. Iceland's fiery virtues, a land of volcanoes and vulnerability. Iceland defies logic. A land where glaciers and volcanoes collide beneath your boots. At Silfra you can straddle two continents, Europe and North America, as tectonic plates drift silently apart. This valley is not only geological, it's political. The world's first parliament gathered here in 930 AD. Today, Reykjavik claims a green future, geothermal spas, emissions-free servers, and a fleet of electric cars rivaling Silicon Valley. But behind the clean image lies a contradiction. Hydropower feeds massive aluminum smelters that choke glacier-fed. Rivers dry. One facility alone devours 15% of the country's energy to store cloud data for global tech giants. Still, nature refuses to be ignored. In 2010, a Falajökull's eruption grounded plains across Europe with a sky full of ash. More recently, Fagradalsfjall spilled glowing lava for half a year. Locals posted selfies beside the molten earth. These eruptions don't shock Icelanders. They've danced with fire for over a millennium. Yet the biggest shift is beneath the sea. As ocean currents slow, cod vanish north and mackerel take over, sparking new fishery disputes. Glaciers retreat by 10 billion tons annually, vanishing before our eyes. In 2019, Iceland held a funeral for Ökjökull, marking its death with a plaque to warn future generations. But innovation stirs. Iceland Eyes, a future powered by hydrogen, carbon capture, and artificial snow to slow the melt. It could become the Arctic's renewable energy superpower if ambition can match reality. Scientists here aren't just observing climate change. They're trying to rewrite its course. As one volcanologist put it, we live on a simmering pot, trying to cool a world already burning. Norway's golden crude. When prosperity faces the planet, the Arctic doesn't deal in simple choices, and no country embodies that paradox more than Norway. Here is a nation whose fortune was built on offshore oil rigs, yet now leads the world in electric vehicles and clean energy innovation. A place where polar bears roam near glass and steel buildings. and humanity's agricultural future lies entombed in a melting mountain. This isn't just Norway's Arctic. It's a microcosm of the planet's climate reckoning. And nowhere is that contradiction colder or clearer than Svalbard. Just 300 kilometers from the North Pole sits the global seed vault, a concrete vault cut deep into permafrost to protect the world's crop heritage. But in 2016, unusual warmth and heavy rain sent meltwater into the seed vault's entrance tunnel, where it froze, proof that even a doomsday vault has to adapt. Now threatened by the very crisis it was meant to survive. Yet Svalbard is more than irony. It's an experiment in coexistence. Its 3,000 polar bears, outnumbering people, pad quietly past active coal mines, while researchers from 45 countries study melting glaciers nearby. It's as if the entire island were a living lab, asking, can nature and humans truly share the Arctic? Further south lies Tromsø, Norway's de facto Arctic capital. By day, it's a hub of marine research, where scientists chart how cod are fleeing north as seas warm. By night, those same scientists sip cocktails chilled by melted glacier ice. A gimmick that grows more bittersweet as glaciers vanish. The Arctic Cathedral, with titanium spires mimicking iceberg peaks, is a symbol of Norway's split identity, rooted in ice racing toward renewables. This contradiction runs deepest in Norway's energy politics. In Oslo, Teslas outnumber gas cars, but the subsidies that fund them come from oil revenues. Here, engineers test carbon capture to bury emissions beneath the sea. A possible future for oil in a decarbonizing world. But nearby, crab fishermen see the damage. Warming seas have their catch in just a decade. In the Arctic, every solution sends out ripples. Norway's greatness doesn't lie in its perfection, but in its willingness to live within contradictions. It's to learn fast enough from our mistakes. On a hybrid-powered Hurtigren ferry, watching northern lights dance over Lofoten's fishing villages. You feel the weight of that message. Norway's Arctic isn't just a landscape. It's a preview of the world's coming choices. The midnight sun may not offer easy answers, but it does reveal one thing. In the Arctic, nothing breaks cleanly, only slowly, like thaw lines in ice. The quiet revolution of the boreal north. While much of the world fixates on vanishing glaciers and starving polar bears, it's a story etched in whispering pine forest, mirrored in the stillness of thousands of lakes. Here, climate change wears a subtler face, less dramatic, but no less profound. It's where indigenous knowledge collides with cutting-edge technology, and where the last true wilderness in Europe is quietly being redefined, beginning in Kiruna, Sweden's northernmost city, where an audacious project is unfolding. The world's largest underground iron mine has destabilized the earth, causing the town to sink. Brick by brick, building by building. An old church is being lovingly dismantled and rebuilt. The local school has already reopened in a safer location. It's a surreal sight, a town adapting physically to the consequences of its own lifeline. Just across the border and Finnish Lapland, another transformation is underway. The Sami people, Europe's only indigenous group, face a modern paradox. Their reindeer, sacred and central to their culture, now wear GPS collars. Satellite phones have replaced centuries-old oral networks. But the true threat isn't connectivity. It's the chaos of a warming climate. Snow comes late and melts too soon now, says Neil Saunders, a 62-year-old herder, as we share coffee in his traditional Lavu tent. Rain falling on snow and freezing creates icy layers. The reindeer can't break through to feed. This phenomenon known as lockup is forcing Sami herders to change how they survive. Some now truck reindeer to grazing lands, an idea once unthinkable. Others rely on imported feed to get through harsh winters. But youth like Ellen are merging past and present, using drones and ancestral migration maps to find viable pastures. My grandfather's stories are our GPS now, she says, showing me an app that overlays oral history with real-time snow data. Even the forests are transforming. In Sweden's Dalarna region, bark beetles, once kept in check by frost, are now ravaging spruce trees. The destruction is so vast it can be seen from space, and in Finland's famed land of a snow. Out of these shifts emerges something extraordinary. The Nordic Arctic is becoming a testbed for sustainability. In Luleå, Sweden, the world's first. Fossil-free steel plant is being built, powered by hydrogen. Tourism too is evolving. Ice hotels now run on solar power. Husky sled tours support reforestation efforts, but perhaps the most radical change is legal. In 2020, a Swedish court gave the Girjas Sami village exclusive rights to hunt and fish on ancestral land. A ruling that placed indigenous knowledge on equal footing with science. Is not just about rights, says Britta, a lawyer in a similar Finnish case. It's about redefining who sets the rules for sustainability. Near Inari, beneath the midnight sun, I watch Sami artist Maria weave a basket from birch roots. People see the Arctic as empty or something to protect, she muses, but for us, it's a relationship. Always has been. Her fingers bend the roots without breaking them. Just like some culture, enduring, adapting, but never yielding. And maybe that's the lesson from Scandinavia Arctic. That real resilience isn't resistance to change, but guiding it root by patient root through frozen ground. Russia controls more than half the Arctic coastline, 53% of it. A vast frozen domain stretching from Norway to the Bering Strait. But this isn't a desolate frontier. It's a high-stakes chessboard where warming ice redraws every rule. As glaciers recede, Moscow surges forward with warships, pipelines, and a climate gamble that could tilt the planet. In Murmansk, the nuclear icebreaker fleet waits like steel beasts, ready to crack open the north. Leading them is the Arctica, a 570-foot leviathan that crushes 10-foot ice with atomic precision. It guides tankers through the once impassable northern sea route, shaving weeks off Asia-Europe trade. But eastward on the Yamal Peninsula, nature is cracking under the weight of that ambition. Permafrost collapses in catastrophic bursts, swallowing buildings in a single night. Still, Gazprom extracts 80 billion cubic meters of gas annually from thawing ground they pretend is still frozen. In 2020, a diesel tank ruptured near Norilsk, spilling 21,000 tons into the Arctic waters. Rivers turned crimson. Cleanup crews used reindeer hair to contain the poison. In Chukotka, indigenous communities face the rapid erosion of their history, a culture dissolving faster than the ice. The ice was our road, says Anati, a 72-year-old whale hunter. Now it kills both our boats and our footsteps. Their 2,000-year-old walrus hunting routes are dissolving with the pack ice. Meanwhile, Rosneft drills on the Vostok oil project, poised to deliver 100 million tons annually. A line drawn straight through sacred reindeer migration paths. On Franz Josef Land, Nagutskoye Air Base rises like a Cold War hallucination. Arctic camouflage cloaks bombers. Cucumbers grow in high-latitude greenhouses. It's Dr. Strangelove meets Siberian survival. Yet below the surface, the real monster stirs: methane. This isn't just feedback. It's free fall. Russia's Arctic today is a paradox. Tankers and drill rigs glide past drowning villages. Military bases boast satellite Wi-Fi, but struggle to stay warm. And the very thaw that enables oil wealth threatens to destroy all infrastructure beneath it. From above the Kara Sea, the ice looks eternal. But it's groaning, shifting, dissolving. Russia has already claimed the crown of Arctic dominance. The question now is whether that dominance will doom the region or awaken it to the cost. The Arctic is no desolate void. It's a vibrant meeting point where nature and humanity breathe as one. Imagine a land where the sun never sets for months, and the aurora dances like spirits across a frozen canvas. Where the air is so cold, your breath crystallizes before it touches the ground. And yet against every expectation, life endures here in forms both wild and wise. 8 nations share this polar frontier: Canada, Russia, the US, Greenland, and the Nordic states, bound by snow, divided by strategy. Indigenous peoples, the Inuit, Sami, Nenets, have traversed these frozen lands for millennia. They read wind patterns like a compass and track storms in the silence of snow. Their traditions form an oral archive more precise than satellite maps. How do you carve a life from a land where winter swallows 3 seasons? You ask a Sami herder guiding reindeer across a horizon that never ends. Or an Inupiaq hunter waiting patiently for the bowhead whale's migration through the ice. Their way of life is a choreography with the land, one that science is only beginning to decode. But the Arctic's rhythm is being disrupted. Melting ice once blocked ships. Now it opens passageways to oil, to conflict, to greed. Russia arms its coast. Canada lays legal claim to vanishing territory. Greenland weighs independence as its ice collapses beneath its feet. The Arctic is no longer distant. It's where climate, politics, and economy collide. Yet, its greatest resource isn't fossil fuel, it's human resilience. In Siberia, Nenets families migrate hundreds of miles, unmoved by pipelines or power plays. Can this region chart a future that honors both survival and sovereignty? The answer lies not only with those who live there, but with the rest of us watching from afar. And deep beneath the pack ice, ancient whales sing songs older than our civilizations. The ice itself is alive. It cracks, it groans, it travels, glaciers carving memories into stone. And sometimes it opens without warning, swallowing everything without a trace. Because the Arctic doesn't cry out for rescue, it asks only to be heard.